Hey class, welcome back. All right, so today's topic is going to be over asynchronous and synchronous learning. Synchronous learning is where you're learning just like this, where it's a live video and you are talking one-on-one with the teacher. Actually, that's not, because you're watching this on YouTube. This is asynchronous. So asynchronous is a pre-recorded or a version that the students are going to be learning from that is not the live class. Now, I teach both typically in a regular school setting. However, this is different because I'm not in my normal space. I'm in my basement. So time to learn. So let's start off with asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning, where the students are learning outside the classroom in non-live face-to-face sessions, not a Zoom class, not a Teams meeting, Skype, any other platform, Twitch, Reels, which is so not a thing. These are all options to doing those synchronous sessions where you're doing a live version of that one-on-one class time. So asynchronous learning, why is that a valuable tool that most of us can use? So for me, the way that I'm teaching my asynchronous class, all of my asynchronous class is the entire learning process. These videos that I make where I'm giving the steps, step 1, step 2, step 47, however we're going down that list, that is done in an asynchronous form. Why? Because a student can pause, rewind, replay, fast forward, or toss them down in the comments for another student to give them a helpful tip. That is a very important thing for our students to know. Why? Because they need to understand how learning is a resourceful nature. You need to be resourceful in the way that you're gathering information up so that you can create a product. This is a learning process that most people don't go through in a typical brick and mortar setting. Having that asynchronous ability allows that student to take that knowledge and apply the knowledge on their own, figure out the pitfalls, figure out where they're going wrong, and then having the safeguard of the synchronous learning to bring those questions. I'm going wrong here. This is what's wrong for me. I know what's the problem. I need you to fix it. They can bring those to me in the synchronous sessions, and I'm more than happy to help out my students. But I want them to have that understanding of where did they know that they were like, I'm off track, I need help. I can help those a lot better than those kids are like, I don't know what's wrong with, I don't know. I don't know either, because you don't know. I don't know. We don't know together. So we are together on that, but we also don't know how to come up with a solution. So in that asynchronous setting, having this ability to where I can record, cut out what is not necessary and I can throw it away, and also making sure it's fine-tuned to the learning process of my students and what they're going to do and how they're going to achieve that knowledge. When you're recording, this is a bottomless pit of despair when you get really deep into it, like myself. And the reason I say that is because if you are new to recording, think of it just as any other class, and you hit record and you don't hit stop until you're completely done. That's really good and really hard at the same time, because you're going to talk and you're gonna have pauses and and somebody's gonna say something, and you gotta remember that somebody said something. So if you hit the upload this and you said a bunch of bad language, that's on you. But when you get into recording and you're having to cut it, edit it, and put in music, make it interesting, for me, that's my new art form. I love that. That's my thing now. But as I said, it's a bottomless pit of despair, because every time I'm watching, I'm like, I could have added this music in. I should have changed this, added this graphic in here. I should have added in this movie clip. Why? Because it's funnier if I added this in. There's all these little nuances that you don't think about until you're deep into this like me. And I hope that you don't have those problems or become obsessed like I do, where you're sitting there like 2-3 weeks like, why can't I just hit publish on this, because it's just not right, and it's eating me up inside, and that's really sometimes a big problem. Back on track, when dealing with the recording and you're getting into that, if you guys want to see something about that, hit me up in the comments below. I'd be happy to do a video on editing and really kind of deep diving into the reasons why I edit the way I do, or give you some basic helpful tips. Other than that, if you are doing this as the first time, you're just trying to make those asynchronous lessons, cutting something and just kind of having all of your steps out and trying to crunch it as short as possible to make sure that that engagement with that student is tight, that is imperative. So have all your steps together, have all out what you're going to do. Best thing I can relate that to is if you've ever seen a cooking segment on a morning show, that is exactly what you want to do. You have this big table of food at the ready. So these are the ingredients that we're going to use. Here's the first bowl. Here's me chopping something, then putting it into a bowl. It's already cooked. Here's everybody eating it. The whole thing takes about 30 seconds. And the reason that they do that is so that it keeps your attention all the way through. And then if you want more details, you go to their website, pull off the recipe. But it kept it nice and concise So it's easily digestible for your students. And it's kind of the same thing with these videos. Once you start getting into the realm of editing and you're doing all these different things, you go off on these tangents and stuff that's really good for learning structure, but you forget who you're trying to work with and you want to keep it nice and tight. And it just becomes this big ball of wax that you don't want to go down. Honestly, I don't. I regret it at this point. No, I don't. I love it. It's my thing. But these are those things that you do come into. Finally, let's go over synchronous learning. So the benefits of having a live class. My live class at this point with my students, which is exactly what I do in a normal classroom, is we watch a video of me teaching the topic. We go over the materials that we're going to use. We go through the process one more time. Sometimes I have to do a little one-on-one demo, and then the students are on their own in the learning environment. But during those times, we have a synchronous learning experience where they're asking me questions. They're talking to me about their life. They're telling me about things that they're interested in, things that they're using in the project that brings interest to them. And sometimes I'll say, give me the 5 favorite movies that you guys enjoy, and then we'll build project ideas off of that. So if I had Jaws, The Goonies, and Jurassic Park, we would definitely be doing a monster movie or a large creature that's going to be killing everybody, and we hope that we can get off the island alive. That's going to be the entire project, and it's going to give us something that we can reference to and to say, remember when the raptor jumped through the power conduit and scared you, the jump scare?
Velociraptors have a temperature ranging from 85 to
That becomes an essence of what we're going to be teaching. But having that one-on-one discussion with a student, you only have that when you're in the classroom. So these synchronous sessions is just that, where we're in the classroom, we're talking one-on-one. And you got to remember, during this time frame, most of us have been locked away in our basements, making little videos and trying to reach the real world and have some sort of communication. Having that down here, I'm now encumbered with trying to figure out how I can make this experience less lonely. I'm used to being alone, isolated, talking to just a camera. Nobody's around. This is a lonely experience because you get used to it. But in my head, I'm thinking about the people on the other side of the screen who are watching it, who's sitting there with me and saying, I understand where this guy's coming from. I know what he's talking about. I also love Jaws or Jurassic Park. Why? Because they're good movies. And you have that connection with somebody. This synchronous learning session is the same thing. We're dealing with the social, emotional characteristics, that connection one-on-one with a student. We want to make sure that they don't forget that there are people out there who do care about them, that there is some sort of world that's still happening, even though all we see each other is with a mask or from a distance. Maintain that social distance, maintain that safety net, be safe while you're out there. But we do want to make sure that we're having some sort of communication with those students. You're having that connectability. Having both of these is an important thing. Having an asynchronous environment and a synchronous environment is a very important learning experience. But when you're structuring this, these are my 2 cents. Your synchronous learning, where you're having a live class, don't let that just be the students are here to gain knowledge and that's all they're going to do. Sometimes half the knowledge that they're going to be gaining is that there's somebody out there who still cares about them. There's somebody who has an interest in their life, and there's somebody that they can talk to. And the asynchronous environment isn't just about a bunch of worksheets that you have to get done before midnight. Otherwise, you don't get any credit. Sometimes it's a video. Sometimes it's something on Instagram that you found interesting that would give them some great ideas to make a fun sketchbook assignment, because that is my everyday assignment that I'm doing with my kids. I'm trying to comb through Instagram, find some cool artists, and I'm using them as my brainstorm sponge, interactivity, engaging scenario, whatever you guys call it in your area. But that is what my kids are going to see when they log on. They're like, go check out this guy's Instagram, go check out this girl's Instagram, check out the stuff that they do, and check out the art that they make, because it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I want to know what you think about it. Do you like it, hate it? Not. What's your 2 cents? And put that down in the comments below, and that's their credit for that beginning of the class period. It's a simple grade, but it also gives that artistic engagement right from the beginning. It's all about your structure. It's all how you're engaging with the students. It's all about remembering that this is still class. I'm still the instructor. They're still the students, and we're still going to have a good, positive working relationship. That's what matters. So let's go ahead and take care of homework today. Homework today, as always, is don't forget to like, subscribe, share on all the various platforms. We want to get the message out there to all my fellow teachers. And hey, if you're a student watching this, we're all in the same boat together, man. Hope you enjoyed it. Other than that, if you had a question, comment, or concern, raise those hands in the comments below. Happy to answer you guys with any questions that you guys have. As always, I will see you guys next class. Until then, later, guys.